Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So today is what you would call, I suppose, a routine day in the shop. I think a lot of times on YouTube here, as content creators, we try to come up with things that sort of grab people's attention, and dropping stuff on the floor, that's all part of it. But this is what you would call a routine day in the shop. I'm forging blades, and we're going to talk about what I'm doing, and there's always something to learn. I'm always learning something. Hopefully this can help you too in your shop or your interest in the craft. So this is 3/4 inch round 52-100 steel that I'm working with here. I'm assuming that it was produced for roller bearings, which is one of the reasons why 52-100 is so ubiquitous, because of its use. Its wide use in industry for ball bearings and roller bearings, and it makes a great blade steel. So I'm making some small, relatively thin little bowl cutter style blades here, and of course that requires working the material down quite a bit. Here I'm trying to forge in the bevel a little bit, and I wasn't expecting it to work super well. I just wanted to see what would happen, but the press just sucks the heat out of the steel, especially this of this dimension. This is such a thin piece of steel that doesn't work at all really to forge the bevel. So the hammer it is, and that's where your rounding hammer really comes in handy to spread that material out like that. So this doesn't look like quite enough material for a tang. But like I said, it's a small knife, and it's going to be tapered. So we're going to forge this material out, and it'll be enough. So I'm actually working on 3 different little knives here out of this one piece of steel. Here you can see how I'm working the tang down on a different knife here, and if you watch closely, you can see the steel here, get brighter right where I'm hitting it. That's because I am using the corner of my hammer for the most efficient drawing out possible on the face of the anvil. If I wanted to get even more drawing out, I could go with the edge of the anvil. But it's really that energy transfer. It actually heats that steel up in that spot. So in some sense, the hammer actually preserves and even creates a little bit of heat a lot better than the press does. But they're different applications. So what you saw me doing there was heating the tangs up to an orange heat, putting them in a high temperature insulation. And this is just a sort of a quick anneal. It's not a real or full anneal, but just enough to be able to get a drill bit through, and you can hear the drill bit squeaking just a little bit, but it works fine. And I found that on the 52-100 you just can't leave it in the forge to cool down. That's not adequate, but that insulated blanket gets just enough there so you can drill holes in it. So doing a little cleanup in the shop the last couple of days, a little more organizing. Something you have to do when you don't have a huge amount of space is to get more creative and more organized with where you put stuff. So this is the scrap that most of the scrap that I've collected so far from the hickory wood for the handles on the hammers and axes and hatchets. So that's already piling up. So I had to take that out and put it in a scrap wood box. I guess that'll be some campfires here the upcoming fall and winter. So these blades are normalized 4 times after forging, and then we'll go ahead and harden and temper them. One of the last bowl cutter blades that I did sold to a fella, and he did a review on it, and he said he cut 100 bowl calves with it, and it didn't need to be sharpened. So that was pretty nice to hear. That's some pretty decent performance. So it's the next day and we've got these blades all tempered up, but this area here that we just walked through right here, cleaned that out the other day. Kind of had a table there that was mostly just collecting junk, and I think I might put maybe like a shave horse or a drawing bench, you know, if you're using a draw knife, something like that, we can use for fitting tool handles and things like that. So not sure, but trying to be a little more organized and, you know, use the space that I have to the best of my ability. So it's time to grind these blades, and I didn't do any rough grinding on them prior to heat treat. But I have some ironwood dust all over the bench here. I try to keep the wood dust cleaned up, you know, before grinding steel, so you don't throw sparks on flammable material. But yeah, I just forged these blades and heat treated them, and so there's no profiling on the grinder or anything like that prior to heat treat. So we'll do all that. And the reason I did that is because I forged them down pretty close to finished dimensions, and you know, leaving them alone, it just kind of helps with keeping your edge steel from decarburizing any more than it needs to. So we can grind all of that off at the end here with the final grinding. And of course, you just have to be super careful that you don't heat the blade up. So you can see me, I'm literally dipping the blade every pass on the grinder. So I wanted to show you guys this. These are hunter hatchet handles for a batch, and then I've got a batch of hammer handles here, 6, kind of one extra. And so far I've only got 2 hammer orders for this batch, so there's, you know, I want to do 3 more if we can. So if you're wanting a nice blacksmithing hammer, you can get one on this batch, and I will put the link in the description below to go pay for the pre-order on that. But look at all this hickory I got the other day. You know, real good stuff, because a lot of the stuff in the stack has knots and run out and all kinds of stuff, and I can't use that. It's got to be really good stuff for these hammer, hatchet, and axe handles. So yeah, I'm kind of seeing how I might have to start sourcing some hickory from a little closer to the source. I don't know. So if you guys know of anybody who maybe has any kind of source for like good quality hickory wood in the preferably in Texas. We're over here in the Lubbock region, so yeah, I mean, if you have any kind of resource, let me know, because I don't know how long this is going to work with these particular guys, because they have to be able to sell kind of their whole stack, and they only have like crummy pieces left. That's not going to work for them. So anyway, that's in the works, and I don't know, exciting stuff. So over here at the old Milwaukee Delta drill press, putting holes in handle scale material, I prepared some elk antler pieces. And you know, one of the things about these little knives, not only do they make a great little EDC, I mean, you don't have to be a cattleman to appreciate this blade. You know, it's not just for cutting calves, it just makes a great sharp little blade. One thing I like about them though as a bladesmith is it allows me to use up all those tines on the elk antler that I buy, you know, that doesn't fit a full size or, you know, big knife. And so this is a great use for that. And people love it, you know, people like these little knives. So chamfering out the holes here, because I will peen the brass pins. Makes a nice, super good lock on there with the epoxy. And we'll get these all put together and finish them up in the next couple of days. Hey guys, appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.